Good evening and welcome to yet another episode of VI Voices. I'm Emile Henderson III along with my co-panelists, Natalie Nelson, Tang, Clint D.W. Ferris, that's your new name now, and Boyd Anthony McFarland. And we are here tonight as we're going to go over, and this is part 2, of our discussion regarding the candidates for the 30th legislature of the Virgin Islands. Okay. And we're going to start off tonight's discussion with Sherry Ann Wilshire. Okay. Now, she wasn't able to make our show.
Right.
But what are our thoughts on her? This is not the first time that she's running for a seat in the legislature, correct? I think she ran in 2010.
Yeah, she's run before, to my knowledge. And I know she's a former president of the PTA at the complex.
Correct? Yes. And let me put it to you. Some people are well-intended. I mean, they have wonderful ideas. But I believe at this time, this is not their time. Mm-hmm. And I think, yes, get some more time, develop a platform, and be ready to run. But I don't believe this is Sherry and Wilshire's time. And if you look on this paper, there are a lot of people here that have good platform that this is definitely not their time. Because they're not running. To me, there's about 10 people that they need to be discussing in this discussion, and then the others, I think they're just fillers. Do they need an honorable mention? Yes, because they're putting forth some wonderful ideas. I don't think they're ready to be considered as senators in this particular race. But should we dismiss Sherry and Wilshire? No, I think her heart is in the right place.
But, remember last night I said that sometimes we have good people who are really good advocates and are more powerful
as an advocate.
Or activists, I should say, community activists, than a senator. And she may be one of those people.
Correct. And that's the thing right here. That our people also need to start to understand their potential and start to be realistic. Yes, you may want to be senator, but you may not be a senator at this point. Right. It may be time that you need to go in the trenches, develop a platform, work in a senator's office, or work in some sort of a community advocacy group, and develop and work with people and develop your leadership skill, and then you're ready to be senator.
I agree with that.
Okay. So I think Sherry and Wilshire is one of those persons that well-intended, got some wonderful ideas, but
need some more time.
So,
yes.
Based on what you said, you think there are 10 people that are...
I think there are 10 people, 10, in my view, from my Clint Ferris, there are 10 people that I think we should be looking at that do put forth a good platform and a good agenda for the people to consider.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying.
We're going to talk about them 10 people?
I can tell you, let me put it to you this way. My 10 that I'm looking at, and I'm going to give you a couple others we mentioned. I like Gwen Hall Brady. I think she's a good candidate. If you're looking at diversity in the legislature and somebody who's a strong woman and can maybe bring some new ideas and decorum to the body, I like Gwen.
No, I like Gwen Hall Brady too. I've said this before on the show before. I think that she has great intelligence. She's classy. She was going to bring a level of ethics and integrity to the legislature and some intelligence to the legislature, researching to the legislature, that you can feel, okay, well, all right, that kind of makes sense. I can see where she's coming from.
She's currently there as a legislative assistant or researcher, correct?
Right.
So the transition shouldn't be shouldn't be too bad. The learning curve,
correct.
Does she have the potential?
Correct.
Yes, and I do believe Gwen.
And she was on the show, and I think she presented extremely well.
She was very impressive.
On the show.
I even heard today that she was on Mario's show. And she even presented even
more
better than she did.
Now here's the question though. Is she going to win amongst the people who are going to vote, who enjoy voting because Destra and what the next man's name? Chester was brought to. You see, that's the thing. The people who should go to the Senate to make those kinds of changes are often overlooked by the people who give me stuff.
Because they don't.
The issue is the electorate.
Right. And that's the problem with the electorate. You see, one thing I've been taught, you don't hang around with your buddies and them that drink rum. You hang around with the liars. If you aspire to be a liar, you hang around with those folk. So if you want to see change in the legislature, you don't hang around with the people that continue to bring you down. You hang around with the people that are going to take your places. Yeah. Gwen Brady will take us places.
I think that she's going to do well. So who's the next one?
I like Diane Capehart. I like Diane Capehart, and I'm going to tell you why I like Diane Capehart.
Okay. She was on the show. Yeah, the very first show, actually.
Correct. And I'm telling you this. I'm going to start off with the women first.
Okay.
I believe we need some more women in the legislature. And I think we have a great pick of women in this election. Diane Capehart, because Diane Capehart has shown me some improvement over the last 3 elections that she has run.
Right.
And I'm going to give her credit for that. And if you can win me over because you have improved, I think Diane Capehart should be given a consideration.
Okay. I thought that she also presented well here on the show.
Yes. Correct.
And I do see a growth in her from when she first started to where she is now.
Correct.
Running. I think of the women's candidates, I think she ranks up there. If you look at the women alone, I think she ranks up there. I think she does really well when you look at actually all the candidates because the pickings are great.
Possibility is getting stronger.
And she was 8th the last time.
Yeah. So
that possibility is there.
And I'll tell you, I don't worry about the rumors people talking about affiliation with the admin. No, what I'm worried about is right now I'm looking for people who's going to work on my behalf, my children's behalf, and the community's behalf.
And when you don't, you vote them out, right?
What has she showed you that she's going to work on your behalf?
Because what she showed me that from year 1 to year 3, she has really grown. She has incorporated new ideas into her platform, and she has gone out and seek assistance in developing her platform and ideas. She didn't just sit there. She has gone out to people who has the knowledge about energy and tell me what's the best way to fix our energy crisis. And she has brought them in and sat with them. She has gone out to people about the economy and said, I don't have all the ideas and all the answers. Help me to understand where our idea, what the challenges are, and help me to develop a good idea and a good plan to improve my Virgin Islands. And that's what she's telling to the people. Okay. Next on my list of my 10, I like Jamila. I'm going to tell you why I like Jamila.
Russell. Okay.
And I'm going to tell you this with Jamila. I have known Jamila from the time she was at UVI. And the times that I had to pull Jamila up when she was at UVI and even when she was on the radio. And I would call and say, Jamila, you know, these are things that I think you need to incorporate and these are things I think you were wrong about, and she would listen to me. But Jamila also said, you know, instead of me being a lip behind the radio, I'm going to get up, stand up, and I'm going to try to be an implement of change in the Virgin Islands, implement to move the Virgin Islands forward. And because of that, I am going to consider her. Want to tell you why? Because I believe people can redeem themselves. And Jamila is showing me that she has some redemptive qualities in her.
Right.
And she will surprise us.
I think that Jamila, you know, she was on the show as well and presented very well. I've seen her at other forums. She's what I can say for her, and I've known her from a child. I grew up with her in Harrigan Court, and she's extremely well researched in everything that she does. But when she comes to talk to you about something, she's not talking off her head. She's talking about something she's researched. This whole issue that they had with the park, that they would build the park and the company, whatever, she's the one that went to research all the information and found out that that company was a company that was a fraud for the most of the purposes. Right. When we had senators sitting in there who couldn't tell you that.
And they got researched.
And right, so I think she did really well in that respect. No, the disclaimer, of course, is that I represent her in some matters. I've known her from a child, so I grew up with her, so I'm extremely close to her. And I guess people might say to me, but she has to I think for her, some people have to get the radio personality. We talk about Norma, the radio personality out of your minds about her sometimes. But most importantly, people have to get around that issue of her and the licensed consumer issue that people aren't going to get. Now, people are going to probably say, when they see this show, are going to say, well, you know, Emile, you're hypocritical because, you know, you don't believe Chucky should be in there and she was convicted of something, Jamila's convicted of something else. So the record is clear. Jamila Russell is not convicted of any crime. Let's make sure it's perfectly clear. What she got under the law was what we call a 3711C treatment, which is, as you know, Natalie, which is where you have a judgment without conviction. And so if you complete what the court has asked you to do in your probation, then your record is automatically expunged and you're returned to where you were as if you had never ever been charged with a crime.
What's that called?
It's called a 3711C. And so it's called a judgment without conviction. And it's reserved for those non-violent type crimes that you have that's charged against you. So for her, if you were to pull up her record, you would never see an arrest. You would never see a conviction of anything. So technically, she can rightfully, just like me or you, she sits just like us, where we can run office. So that's why I'm looking at her. But I'm looking at her primarily because I know that she's a well-researched person and that she's going to come with facts. I don't agree with everything she does, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with everything she does. But when you come with an informed position to me, I'm at least willing to listen to it.
And she has shown me. She has shown me growth. She has shown me growth.
About the she's grown and developed.
I definitely
She's
agree.
matured and developed.
Correct.
Absolutely.
She has evolved.
I know there's some thugs in the legislature. They continue to be thuggish.
Right.
Jamila showed me that, yes, she does have a little bit of thug in her. But she is shown that she can be a lady and operate as such within just that circle of the legislature.
Yeah.
And I look forward to that.
A little bit of thug. A
little put in back.
No.
It's actually necessary in that
correct. You need to be a little thuggish every so often. You need to be quick. And that's endearing in a woman, you know?
Yeah. So I do
No.
like that.
No, let me go to the incumbent senator, Narida O'Reilly.
Yelling.
Because she's an incumbent,
That's our number
and
four.
yes, and that's my number four.
Okay.
And because she's an incumbent, and because I know Nellie's heart in the right place, I'm going to consider Nellie.
Correct.
Because you have to look at Nellie, because Nellie has a record and Nellie has done good work.
Yes.
Has she done some certain things that I'm very leery about? Yes. That peace officer bill,
That's it.
bam.
Yeah.
I truly don't understand some of that vote in in this year, especially being an election year.
Yeah.
But will I consider Nellie? Yes, I will consider
I
Nellie.
think that was one of
And
the
I
deals,
agree, I
and
agree.
the ability to get your way by walking.
Yeah, correct.
I
think that's how come she get caught up
I
in
will
that. But
say
I
that-
do like her as well. No.
I like Nellie.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's the
if
only,
I
that's the
were
only
to- if
objection I
were
would
to
have against
consider-
Nellie as a peace officer thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think her heart is in the right place.
If
and
I
she's
were
got
to
a lot.
consider her, take that back. If I were to consider any incumbent, you know how I feel about the incumbents.
Right.
If I were to consider any incumbent, it would be her, because she, like Jamila, comes to the legislature research.
Right.
Her questions are direct and to
Right.
the point. She's not talking about whose mother was this and I used to walk with you down again, Lindy. I mean, that has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
She comes to you, she says, here are my questions. She
Well
knows she has
prepared.
8 minutes.
Yeah.
So she wants all her questions answered. This, and your responses technically should be short and to the point, because that's how her questions are framed, short and to the point. And it tells me, one, she's read the bill,
Yeah.
she's gone to research what this bill is about,
That's right.
and whatever her decision is on voting, I haven't agreed with everything, but at least I know that she has researched, and in her mind and her belief, she believes what her vote is the right vote.
Right.
I can't be upset with anybody who genuinely research and believes that that's the right decision
And
for them.
because she's that kind of person too. One of her questionings came up in this whole thing with the machines, regarding the machines. Now, you know, when she asked Abramson the question whether or not they're ESC certified,
Right.
and he was like, yes, and she asked him twice. He said yes twice. That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's actually they're using
Yeah.
that as one of the big
Yeah,
issues.
and I thought she did. I think you know, if you're gonna keep an incumbent, I think Nellie would be a good one to keep the flow going
Yeah.
of that.
Her heart is definitely in the right place, and I think she wants the best for the people of the Virgin
Definitely.
Islands. And getting into legislature didn't go to her head in any such way that she put herself on a pedestal above the people. And I like that. I like that down-to-earthness about her, in addition to the fact that she is one of the few women in there that have been able to hold her own.
We will see.
Correct.
But when we return, we'll take a break. When we return, we'll continue it with Clint's list. It's good because it's getting us through
Right.
everybody that we need to get
Well,
through.
we only got to number 4.
No, we don't. I've all the rest of them right here.
Yeah, a lot of us are there.
Okay, got
So
it.
we'll be back in a moment. Back in a moment. And welcome back. We are finishing up our discussion as we talk about the individual seeking office for the 30th legislature of the Virgin Islands. We were finishing up with Nellie Rivera O'Reilly. And so, Clint, who are the other people?
Arthur Joseph. I
Arthur
like
Joseph.
Arthur, how Arthur.
You finished with all the women?
Yeah, I finished with all the women. I gave you 4 women right
I thought
there.
we were getting up to 5, at least.
No,
10.
I gave you Diane, I gave you Gwen, I gave you Jamila, and I gave you Nellie. I like those 4 right there for now. That's my 10.
Oh, okay.
That's-
I think he was giving 10 people generally.
Yeah, but no, yeah.
4 of
For the
whom
women
are
up
women.
front.
We have 4 women.
Right.
I like Arthur. I like
Okay.
how Arthur presented. And I'm going to tell Arthur said something that made sense. He said, if I do my job good, don't fault me for that. Yes, we may not like him, how we may think he's arrogant when he does his policing, we think, but he's a good police officer. And do I think that's gonna translate that he's gonna be a good senator? I believe so. Because I think he takes pride in his job, and at times he's not selective on who he pursues.
Not at times. He's never
Never
selective on who he pursues.
So I like that quality
Giving
about
tickets
Arthur.
to.
I've read one blog where they were talking about we need good police officers. So if he's so effective as a police officer, why not remain a police officer?
No, because I think sometimes you need a police officer in the legislature.
But we have one, Celestino White.
He leaving.
He was a police officer.
But I don't know if he was a good one, but he's leaving. So I like Arthur.
I like him.
I like Arthur too. I think when
So
Arthur was
he's gonna
here,
police the senators? Is that-
No. I think he's gonna, again, remember tell you, different characteristics, and we need diversity in the legislature. I think Arthur brings a different types of diversity. He brings a passion and seriousness that I like, and intensity that we need. Just like when you have a football team, you need some guys that are really intense and gonna hit you hard and say, and don't even get up, don't even shake your hand and bring you up. That's what you need on your team, like the bad boys sometimes. And that's effective.
I think Arthur presented very well on the show.
He did.
And it was apparent that he's really researched all of the issues
Correct.
before coming out publicly to do stuff. I don't think this is his first time running. I don't
No,
think
this is his first
his
time.
first time.
This is his
oh
first
wow,
time
okay.
running.
Well, he's done a really good job for his first time
Correct.
coming out there. I know he's been involved in the unions and in other things. And so I'm willing to definitely look at Arthur
Correct. And
as an individual to be in there.
And that's what I'm saying. There's 10 people I'm going to look at.
So
And
who's
Arthur's
number
one.
7?
No, number six.
Six.
Oh, that's
Number
right.
6. Now,
I added in as number 5.
Okay.
I'm going to put I'm going to give Kenny Gittins.
Can he
I'll
get
look
this?
at.
Okay, that's
Okay.
another police.
Kenny's
Another
running.
police?
Kenny is running a wonderful organization.
Yeah.
So
His campaign, you
his
mean?
campaign is running wonderfully. I like what I see in terms of that. I've heard many issues out there that so a lot of people are saying that there's not much substance to the candidate. But I do believe if he surrounds himself with quality people, he definitely will learn the job and can be effective.
Well, he didn't come to the show.
Correct, he didn't.
But I did. I don't know. He didn't. Well, he was invited.
Correct.
And claimed that there was a conflict.
Okay.
So he wasn't here. We invited him a second time. He didn't come then either. But I've seen other forums, and he did pretty okay. I mean, I'm definitely going to look at him because I know his heart is in the right place.
Correct.
And so I definitely will look at him. And I agree with you. When you can surround yourself with people, it's something that you can learn and get going. The only thing that I want to make sure is I need to make sure that even when you do that, when it is time for you to make your decision, it's yours.
Right.
And that you're not doing it because everybody tells you to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's what he is. What I'm saying is if I'm going to look at you as somebody who will bring people to the fold to assist you, that you're bringing them only to hear their ideas,
Because
to assist you in making your
And
decision.
the people that you put in there, exactly so. You don't want it to be figureheads. You
Correct.
want them to stand up, have a voice.
Disagree with you.
Reason it out. Disagree.
If you need to.
If you have to.
I don't know much about Kenny Gittins, and I haven't heard him. I think I just heard him for the preliminary when he was announcing his candidacy. I don't really know much of him, and I don't really like him. And that could be I'm biased because of personal reasons. But as far as his heart being in the right place, why
I mean, I gather I've known him all my life as well. He goes to church with us, and so grew up in the church with us. So I know in talking to him when he was deciding whether or not he wanted to run or not run, and I listen to him. I believe him when he says, "I want to do what's best for the territory." And so I know his heart in the right place. Not everybody whose heart is in the right place is designed to be in the Senate. That's all I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm willing to look at him for two reasons. Because I believe his heart in the right place. And when you look at his campaign, you can see he has picked people from all walks, all age groups, all ethnicities, all areas of this community to work with him. And so that they can share ideas. Old politicians, new politicians. Christian said, Frederick said, 40-year-old, 20-year-old. I mean, and so they're within his group.
Right.
And so as long as he can have his own independent thought, at the end of the day, I say, well, thank you for all your information, but my decision is to do this. I'm okay with that. But I don't need you being a puppet. or
And you say
anybody.
you know him personally.
I
so
do
he
know him
has that-
personally.
He has that personality with the ability to make decisions. And
I would hope so. I think so. I mean, I don't know what, between now and then, when you go in the Senate, things
That's a
happen.
whole different story.
You know?
Okay. Let's move on.
Okay.
And then I am gonna also I'm gonna have to give the two incumbents senators, two other incumbent senators consideration.
Two
Okay.
more in addition to Nelly?
To Nelly.
Who the two be?
Neville and Positive. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay, we already talked about positive last night.
But I'm gonna tell you about Neville.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say this up front. I've actively campaigned for Neville before. And have I ever so often been disappointed because I expect a lot from Neville? Yes. I'm going to tell you outright. But do I think Neville has the potential to be great and effective? Yes, he does. Is this?
When is it going to show?
And that's my concern.
I believe it's already.
No.
No. You know what? I like Neville a lot.
But do we agree that he has the people of St. Croix?
He has the
yes.
people.
At heart? Do we agree on that?
And that's the thing. I think not just have the people of St. Croix at heart, have the people of the Virgin Islands at heart. Because I want to tell you why. He's St. Croix all the time, but it's the Virgin Islands at the end of the day. All the money is going the same place. All the laws go for the Virgin Islands people. And I think there are times that I need to see that maturity and that leadership from the senator. Don't just start. If he need, I don't think does he have the potential to eventually one day be governor? Yes, but he needs to start to be a builder.
I like Neville as a person. I think he is smart, and I think
correct.
He's a fighter. What went wrong with me, for me, was Act 6905 when you tell me you ain't come because you were protesting. I don't need you protesting. I need to go and say no.
Correct.
If you believe it was wrong, I need you to show up and say no, I will not vote for that. Not tell me that you were protesting and that's why you didn't show up.
Right.
That's what kind of went wrong with me. But he has always been, I don't know about other people, but as to me, he's always been very open. Detention for you next, very open, very receptive to people, if you want to talk to him, I'll go to his office and speak to him.
Right.
Very approachable, and that's good. Now, maybe if we're going to keep people, maybe him and some of the others, if we bring in a lot of new people, they might have a different leadership style, and he may exhibit that leadership that we've been looking for him to exhibit.
Over 80, we've been looking for it.
He may rise to the occasion,
And I think this may be.
I think he's already rising. The only thing, I agree with everything you just said, but three things that he did. The 6905 thing issue, I had an issue with that too, and the last two things, the one with the Constitution and the peace officer too, I didn't agree with that at all, and I couldn't believe that he voted in support of it. It kind of threw me off regarding him and how I thought about him.
And those are the things that really
so he kind of.
Well, I have until next week Tuesday.
Correct, and that's why never boy, but I need to understand that some more.
Who I'm kind of on, because remember my initial thought was I'm not voting for any incumbent.
Correct.
Right? But then I over the weekend I thought about it and I said, I need at least one or two.
Correct.
To kind of steer these new people who will come in.
Correct. So those are my 7 and 8 picks. I know I have my 9th and 10th pick. My 9th and 10th pick are Myron, Alec, and George Moore. We don't
let's start with Myron, Alec. We didn't do Alec. We talked about George last night.
So
we didn't talk about Myron, Alec. Go ahead.
Myron had.
This is second time running. I mean.
Yeah, Myron. But Myron put forth some wonderful ideas. His energy plan is good.
I like his demeanor.
Yes. So the only challenge I have is that he's not connecting with the people more. He's not getting the people to connect to his message. Because I think he has a wonderful message.
You think he's with his campaign?
Huh?
His campaign strategy?
He got one?
That's it. That's my
issue. You know what the problem I'm having is I am not feeling people campaigning. With the exception of some people, I'm not feeling that people are campaigning for my vote.
And yes, they're taking us for granted.
Well, they've said that there's severe lack of funding.
Then you need to sit down until you can get some funding.
No, be creative.
Figure out.
No. Think about it. If you cannot be creative for your own campaign, if you can't motivate yourself to go out and bring out the vote, how can I expect you to go in
Everything
and
takes money. Money makes
But
the
Natalie,
world go round.
let's go back to
Money,
Jimmy Webber.
money,
How
guys.
many
You
votes
can't
has Jimmy
get
Webber
paid.
had?
How
How
many
many millions of dollars?
But Natalie, Jimmy had
Yeah.
5 to 7 signs,
Five to
and
seven
all
signs.
he did for the whole time was moving from one part of the island to the next.
That was
He had no
very- that was
money,
very
and
big.
Wayne James had absolutely no money.
Facebook is
I can't
inexpensive.
even pay
Driving
that.
driving
Well-
around. Walking is low budget. Canvassing is low budget.
No, that's true.
Because
So why did he make your list?
one tell you why he made my list. I like his ideas.
Oh,
Who my ran?
I like my own ideas.
No, I think so too.
So I'm gonna look at Myron.
Who does canvassing walking from door to door anymore? That's
oh,
full time.
people are doing
But see that's the problem.
But them is who
Pressing the
Washington
first.
did that.
Emmett did that. Basket did
yes,
that. Emmett
yes.
did that when he won the first time, and canvassing is very good. But what I also my honorable mention, I think.
But
that-
wait, they
okay.
said Judy Fricks was canvassing today when it was a light.
Oh.
Williams elect.
Before that,
What they tell her, fix the roof.
Hey.
you mean what they tell her?
No.
I don't know how she ain't there, but go ahead.
See,
She walked in to canvas like you all
Before
just
that.
said.
Before that,
Before that.
Before that.
I will leave that as my 10 right there.
Who?
The
Judy
people-
Fricks is your number 10?
No,
he's already done
George
that.
Moore was my
Oh,
number
George
10.
Moore. Okay, yes, yes.
We said we discussed. So those 10 people, I will look at, and I'm going to tell you, if you want to see this list, you go ask my 8-year-old daughter. Because on Sunday night when I was doing her homework, she had a homework similar to this. I said, Daddy, this is what Daddy's going to vote. This is how Daddy's going to look at. These are the 10 people Daddy's going to look at. Because the teacher asked her to pick one. I said, Daddy can't just let you pick one. But Daddy wants you to think about this. And I said, if you're going to pick anyone, think about the issues that matter to you. What school do you attend? She said, Ricardo Richards. I said, what are the problems you have with your school? And then I brought my older daughter in. I said, remember? She said, yeah, remember we didn't have electricity in half of the building. We had a coverage problem and this. I said, there's one senator that had a bill to build a new Ricardo Richards school. And I said, that senator was Neville James. So if any senator you will consider out of the 10, if you had one vote to just give one person, I said, you will, logically, this is what you will give. Because that person,
Identify an issue.
issue that affects you at this particular point. But I have 7 votes. And out of those, I have 10 choices to pick on, and I'm going to vote 7 out of those 10.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That makes sense to me. That does. John Michael Canegata. What are our thoughts on him?
Now, where are you going now?
No, John.
He make the list.
Each
John
time,
didn't
John,
make
John didn't make my list. But John has wonderful ideas as well. If you talk about
Yeah,
good
yeah.
honorable mention, John sat in a chair last night,
man.
and the other time he sat, he impressed me. I like his ideas.
Well, I am seriously contemplating John Canegata. He's a Republican. I'm a
agree.
Democrat.
I
But I'm
agree.
seriously contemplating him solely on the issue because he understands energy.
Yes,
And he
does.
has a plan that's clear, concise,
Yes,
and to the point.
good. And John,
Also-
John impressed me.
What I like about John is we wouldn't have to be worrying about stuff like audits and whether he misspent taxpayers' monies. He's a man of integrity.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of people that we need in
Yeah.
there. Because
That's
those
what I
kind of
like about-
things
I
will
like
be a
about-
non-issue for the people.
Like I said last
You know?
night, I work with him as well in the plant. So he is a man of integrity, a man of his
That's
word. When he says he's
important.
going to do something, he
That's
definitely going to get it
important.
done.
But see what John threw me for? When John used the example last night of that Hungarian man who spoke about, no, there's a commercial paid by a Thomas Pefferfee or something from Hungary, who is saying that something about we are not teaching people to be successful because we're having them go on assistance. If I'm in the middle class and I'm working, I have 4 children, and I'm only making $30,000. Don't you think I need assistance to supplement my income?
Clint, I'm not in the middle class, and I want assistance.
Thank you.
So I'm not even.
When he told me that part that he identified with that gentleman, he kind of
I
threw me
think
for a
everybody in the
loop.
Virgin should be able to have
The man is a
food stamp.
Republican. At the end of the
That's
day,
my
he's a
position.
Republican.
You're right.
That's what he said.
That's his
He's
thought. Yeah, he's
conservative.
conservative like that. That's
No,
his thought.
yeah, he's got so, but that also affected me because I cannot identify the white Hungarian man, an immigrant. No, think about it. He white, he got advantages. I'm African American, coming from Jamaica, Antigua, Africa. I don't get the same advantages as a white Hungarian man in America.
That's true. That's true. You're
Nonsense.
right. Well, we'll be back in a moment as we continue on with our wrap up. Back in a moment. And welcome back to VI Voices as we continue our election wrap up. And so we're going through the list of names that we're talking about. John Canegata, you were indicating something. What were you saying before we went?
I said that I like John, but again, I'm still conflicted about voting for him or not.
Okay.
Not because he's a Republican, but because his philosophy is identity with something don't intersect with me perfectly.
Okay.
But I do like a lot of the things that he discussed.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give John.
Okay.
I'll give John another honorable mention.
Okay. Eugene Lecouvreur. He was on the show as well. And what do you think about him?
I wasn't here.
Well intended. This is not his time.
I don't think he's ready.
No. Go and hone your skills. Go. Huh? He wasn't ready.
Wait.
Well, he's
I wasn't
very-
here for the show when he was here, but I did hear him a couple of times. I've heard him a couple of times, especially on the radio, and he's only pretty good on the radio.
very
as well, and
talented.
he was
Here's what
sharp.
went wrong with
He's
me.
very talented.
What went wrong with me when he tell me we have 2 administrators, I think, Roy.
And we only have one.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so I was like, okay,
No.
then you well research.
Correct.
So-
No, we said assistant administration.
Right.
But he's nice. But I will tell you this, here's the problem with that, right? You know how you all vote. He's cute. And so
He's very
people
good-looking.
will completely overlook the fact that he doesn't know that there's only one administrator, I think, right? And still vote for him.
Right.
And so I agree with
Well,
you.
well,
You won't take that, Natalie?
It's the truth.
But statistically, it's true
Natalie
that
barely asks question.
better looking people tend to get what they want.
Hey, he's a young.
Natalie, I agree with you.
No problem. He's a youngling.
And he
In the political game, he's a youngling.
He was mesmerizing, but I understand your point. That
But he can get more. Now, he can develop more. I don't
Yes,
think
the
I don't
potential
think this
is
is not his
there.
time right
This
now.
was his first
Potential
time.
is
Yeah, this is his first time
definitely
out.
Okay.
And I don't think it's his time right now. But if he stays like how Diane Capehart
Yes.
stuck with it and kept going,
Yeah.
I think he has the potential to get there because technically when you hear him speak, he'll convince you
Yeah,
that exactly
yeah,
what
that's
he's saying
Remember now,
is
he's
true.
real.
I didn't see his demeanor, but I
Yeah,
heard him.
yeah.
He
Sounded
actually,
pretty-
I have a couple of his books. He writes.
That's
a great
another thing.
author,
He's an educator.
Right?
Yeah.
He's an educator.
Yeah.
He's an educator.
And I
He got a
think-
children at heart, and I like
Yeah,
that.
and he has a very good platform for education.
But
Me think he's ready for now.
no, not this year.
A little premature. Troy
Stay in the-
Mason.
Honestly,
Who?
this is about
Troy
Troy's
Mason.
second or third time
That's
running.
not fourth or fifth.
Fourth or fifth?
Is
Well,
that
that's
about that?
perseverance.
Oh,
and
wow, that's a long time.
persistence.
But
You might be right to know.
No, but-
Perseverance
Listen,
and
I
persistence.
could recall seeing bumper stickers from 2004 with a
Wow.
name.
In 2004?
You might be right to know.
Or even 6, yeah. 4 or 6,
I
but I,
think
know
it's
you
6.
run at least.
I think it's 6. Because the first time I think
So
Michael
6,
Springer
8,
worked in
10,
his campaign.
12,
or something.
4.
That's
This is
four
fourth
times.
time.
Fourth
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That's persistence.
Troy,
Exactly.
again, I think Troy may be well intended, but Troy I think needs to again start to hone his skills some more, because he does have the passion and to do it, to be in there. I think he's definitely getting involved in the right things in terms of community advocacy, learning
Right.
the issues and all of that stuff. But I think when Troy started out trail, you can see that some of the things tripped him up.
Yeah.
And there was some unease in him.
Yeah.
And yes, I think Troy, yes, he has the heart in the right place. But Troy is one that the Democratic Party has to invest in.
Sure.
And it's a shame that the Democratic Party waited until the end of the election cycle to bring in somebody from outside to work with its candidates.
It is not the Democratic Party's intent to groom anybody who will have an independent mind and go against what they want.
Right.
That's what it is.
And that's why
That's
I like
not their
Troy.
goal.
You see, yes, and what I said, if you really talk about growing this party, again, Troy is somebody that I think he's a team player. You work with him and get him to where he got to go, he's definitely going to return the favors back to the party.
Okay.
And I like that.
That's
Honorable
a
mention.
good analysis.
Pedro Pai Cruz.
Not ready.
This is his second time
Not ready.
I don't
running. The first time I believe he ran as a Democrat. I think he made it through the primary, but
No,
did he make it general?
he did not make it to the primary.
Did not.
No, he
Okay.
didn't make it to the primary.
This is his second time running, but he is no stranger to the government. It's his third time
This is his
running.
third time running.
He's no stranger to the community.
Uh-huh.
know. He's not.
I think
He's very
he
involved in
fell
it.
into disfavor with the Democratic Party administration because he supported Ken Mapp. But I don't know what my thoughts are with him.
He's a former administrator. I know
Yes.
that about him. I think he was the Mid-Island administrator under the Snyder administration.
When we had three.
Yes.
Right.
And they
Like
have,
mayors.
I gotta tell you, that's how research and how thorough I am. Because I remember when the administrator's office was where the fire service office
Yes,
was,
by
right
Kingsville.
there by Kingsville.
Yes, yes.
So that's where his office was.
Right.
And if it come forward, I think he's still a little bit, not a little, sometimes he can be rough around the edges. Because sometimes I kind of cringe when he holds the mic and he begins to speak on the issues. I do think Can he be a good advocate for the community and especially the Hispanic community? Yes.
Right.
Again, is this a person that the party should have focused on? But now he's not in the party. But that's a person that I think really, after some work, he will be ready to leave.
I agree with that. And I would actually like to say, as a quick side note, I would actually like to see our return to when we had 3 administrators who kind of acted like mayors.
Right.
I would like to see that. You don't have to pay them no ridiculous amount of money.
I was gonna say, you think
but
we afford 3 administrators?
Yeah, but they don't have. But you don't have to pay them what you're paying their single administrator. I think the single administrator makes like 100,000 whatever. You don't have to make that.
And
But
then
I would like to
project
know what it is.
management.
It was somewhat responsive because what ends up happening is everybody
Go to
runs to the
report.
Senate,
Right.
and some of the things you go to the Senate for, that's not their role. It's not their job. And so with the administrator, if you had an issue in Mumbai Jew, you went to the Mid-Island administrator, they did what they had to do, they lobbied and do whatever the Senate to get what needed to be done. And I think that kind of worked for us back in the day, and somehow, I don't know which governor removed it.
From back in the day that used to work, but we
Yes,
don't
I don't
do
know which
anymore.
governor removed it, but
Wasn't it Farley? Turnbull, wasn't it Turnbull?
Maybe.
It went to Frederickson and Christensen. It went to
and then it completely took
and
it out
then
altogether.
went altogether, and it
Just
won.
one.
Because I think then become, again, under the Turnbull administration.
Okay.
Because
One to
then
two.
Greg Because Greg Francis
Francis
was the
wasn't.
sole
That's
St.
true.
Paul administrator.
That's
Okay.
true.
And he was under
And we should have known
Turnbull.
then.
Okay.
And we should have known then. Okay. Jay Watson.
Anything
Just
about
so?
Jay, I've never.
No, Jay
I
sat
don't-
in the seat. Jay said he's a former police officer. Jay said
Wait, what the hell
he's
I mean when
he brought a suit because of something against the government.
With the,
When
with
it
the-
disbanded Narcisse Strike
the
Force.
Narcisse Strike
Or the
Force.
Union people.
You see,
Yeah.
and again, he interviewed very, very, very well. But again, with all of the years of experience, it only parlayed into basically his advocacy is for that one thing with the Narcisse Strike Force.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I've not seen his advocacy prior to this particular point. And his candidacy leaves me that, yes, he does have a native Crucian name. But beyond that, is there much?
I think
to
he
Jay?
presented well. He gave good responses, but I agree with you that a lot of his things were, because you asked him a question about challenges to the government and what he had been doing and why now? Why you wait all this time? And I think one of the reasons, if I remember his response, was no lawyer would help him. And I think he fought on his own, like George Moore had to do. But, I think he gave good ideas. Is he ready right now? I don't know if he's ready right now. But it doesn't mean that people can't get ready. And it doesn't mean you can't, again, act as an activist to get what needs to be done for the people of the Virgin Islands. And people see what you're doing, and then they may be able to reconsider you in the next 2 years.
Especially when you feel so strongly
Right.
about a certain issue. Stay in the forefront. To
Right.
me, that's one of the key things if you want to try the next
Right.
time.
Correct.
I'll say this about him, though. As far as a union representative, he was very effective.
He was
I
effective.
know you represented his
I
people
think he
well,
is.
so I know him in that.
But I
respect.
know Jay. I've gone once again, disclaimer, Jay is my cousin. But I know Jay to the point that when Jay has decided, nobody's going to make him do anything he
Right.
doesn't want to do.
Right.
And so you all can tell him everything, but if he believes in what your point is, the two of you can tell him whatever you want from now until the cows come home. If he believes that what you're saying to him is the right thing to do and he believes it, that's what he's going with. And you can't change his mind from it. And I kind of like that kind of attitude because I know it's your thought.
Right.
Remember, I said before, if it's your thought, whether I agree with you or not, and you believe that what you're doing is right,
respect
based on I will respect your decision.
Right.
But I can't respect somebody who don't know what happened. They're very vapid, and they say, okay, I'll go with you.
And
Then I'll go with you.
vacillate.
Then I'll go with you. I
Yes.
can't deal with that.
Yes.
I can't deal with that at all. George T. Cyril Sr.
Not
he didn't come on
ready.
the show.
I don't know much about him.
I don't know much
So
about
then
him.
I
Well,
could,
I heard him
What's
on the
his
League of
name?
Women Voters, George T. Cyril Sr. I heard him on the League of Women Voters, and I wasn't impressed.
I don't even know he was.
At all.
I'm not impressed because I don't know much about it. So that means his information hasn't touched my hand. I have not got nothing on my car, whether it's at work, when I'm out and about, I have not met this gentleman.
Okay.
And
I
so I,
haven't
can't
either.
say I know him,
Yeah,
and
I
I will
haven't
be
I don't even
looking
know
at
how he
him.
looks.
Michael John Springer Jr. Remember, he was supposed to come on the show. He didn't come on the show. We don't know why. We presume it's because Clint wouldn't give up his seat. So we think that's what it is. We don't know. But this is not his first time running.
No, that's
and
true.
he's
That's
head
really
of
like
the Cruisers in Focus group and has been a really
Watchdog.
good watchdog. for what's been going on. Will that
Didn't you file a
transcend?
lawsuit too? at
Yes,
some point?
yes.
Will that transcend to him being a senator?
I think not. Want me to tell you why? I know Michael. I think Michael makes a great advocate on that, and cruising in focus and all of that. Michael in the legislature, I think he's akin to Chucky and some of the other behaviors that I can't see in the legislature. And that's my thing. Michael,
You're talking on decorum now.
Michael has wonderful ideas, but Michael has not grown. Michael still at times is very thuggish and does not do the things necessary so people can have confidence in his leadership. Because to have done the things that he have done thus far says he has the potential to lead and mobilize. But he has not done the things necessary so people can say, yes, I can have confidence in him, because he can be diplomatic, he can go understand people, and he can negotiate. He don't just have to bully them
Right.
to his
But I'm hearing
position.
you saying at the end of the day, you want people with leadership skills, and I think you have to. That's why it's so important to have a diversification of qualities. And I know we talked about the mix. This one would be a good mix, and that one. And I think I don't know the gentleman that well, but I think that is a key component that needs to be included in his.
Leadership at times doesn't mean the same thing for the
Not necessarily.
for the same thing for all circumstances.
But the leadership skill has a common thread.
It does. But
To which you also have to be able to work with the idiosyncrasies of others.
That's right.
And I think that's where he lacks.
Okay.
He lacks that.
You got to be a people person.
Okay.
He's not,
It's a common thread there.
and that's it. And at times Michael can turn you
A
off.
consensus builder.
Yes, and he's not a consensus builder, and he doesn't know how to work with groups.
Right.
Louis R. Ayala Jr., he was supposed to be on our show, confirmed to be on our show, didn't appear, didn't say anything,
We have
no vote from me.
Hispanic
His,
voice. Usually, in the makeup, there's some
Nelly?
Hispanic voice. Oh, that's right.
Nelly's a Hispanic
yes,
voice?
Yes,
And
I
Sam
heard him,
Gonzalez is a Hispanic
the
voice.
Ayala guy, I heard him on a forum once, and he didn't impress me at all.
Well, he
he
didn't
know
come
much.
When you just blow me off like that, then I
Not
blow
even
off
vote.
your vote.
Hey,
And so
he didn't know
he won't be
much,
getting
and
mine.
I know. I've worked.
He even had some of his workers, people here,
Oh, you mean when he was on
waiting
the show?
for him
On the show.
and just didn't show up.
I've worked with Louis in the past, and Louis has been
I don't
a
know
very
him.
good supporter of the university when I was at the university. And I know that part of him. He does give. As a small business owner, he has supported. And I'm going to say that about him. But beside, I know the community part of him, the person who gives and sponsors activities. But I don't know the politician.
Right.
I don't know the person
Well, I don't know him
who's
period.
asking for my vote.
I don't know him at all.
And I've seen that person.
And
I
so
don't
the
even
initial-
see him. I don't
Excuse
even
me.
see him as a politician.
Correct. So he did not come to
Maybe a
us.
nice guy.
If your initial contact with me is a little salty, then it's kind of hard to get me back in your
Some of the
graces.
question he was just
And get
answering,
back in my
he was
good graces.
repeating the same thing the people that was with him on the phone.
We spoke about Samuel J. Baptiste last night.
We did?
Did we?
No, we didn't.
Didn't?
Sam Baptiste. We just said that he didn't get a chance to come on our show. But Sam Baptiste, he ran as the lieutenant governor's thing for Anna store
Yeah.
in
Correct.
2010.
His strength is energy too.
It's also an energy.
He was at
Also
Oventa.
energy.
I don't know if his strength is energy. I know he's at Oventa. He was at
But
Oventa.
I
So-
heard his plan regarding energy and his song.
Sounds good? Okay.
Yeah.
But you see, my thing with Samuel Baptiste, I truly don't know if he's coming or going. And I can't say I have confidence in
You
his-
don't know enough about
I,
it.
need,
Yeah.
I agree. I need to know a little bit more. I mean, I know him. We served together on the reaccreditation committee at Central High School, so I kind of know him in that aspect. But I wasn't looking at him and learning about him as a senator. I was learning about working together to get Central High School's reaccreditation back, his accreditation back. So you're right. I need to know a little bit more about him before I could.
Yeah. But
Commit him to my thought.
Even when we work on that accreditation, he wasn't vocal. He just sat in the
Yeah, that's true.
in the back. And no,
That's true.
if you're gonna be here, I'm supposed to hear your ideas. That means you're formulating ideas and you're trying to impress upon us what your idea is for Central High School as we move forward in this
That's
accreditation.
true.
I didn't hear that.
That's
deal.
true.
So I can't consider Sam.
And listening to you, Clint, that's how people form their opinions about others and their decisions. Sometimes one slip up. I even heard
Yeah.
Emile saying it. Certain things just turn you off completely.
Yeah.
People look, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important when you're running for these positions and you're in the limelight.
Right.
You have to choose your words carefully.
Correct.
Your actions, everything you do is under the spotlight. And one slip up might
Yeah.
cost you,
Yeah.
you know, a ton load of votes.
Yeah.
You know.
Norman George? I don't.
I
went to school with
Norman.
Norman.
School, okay. So
I know Norman personally. I worked with him before too. Good intentions. A people person expresses himself fairly well.
Is the timing right?
I don't think the timing is
No,
right.
man.
As far as being a
Will it ever be
senator,
right?
We'll see.
Okay.
That's
I think he needs to develop it because
correct.
just like, and this is his first time, just like on the job, the same issue on the job. I mean, when he came in, he was like, you know, he was like, what do you call
Youthful.
it? Yeah.
Very youthful.
And
That's
then
a good way
he
to.
grew over a couple of months, couple of years. He became
Yes.
very efficient at what he does.
Okay.
Yes, he has
What-
youthful
So the
experience.
potential is
exuberance,
there.
potential. So my thing about it is, we should keep this list and then
And come back and talk about it later.
come
another
up
time.
for 2 years.
Yeah.
Look and see what these people are
What
doing and
they've
see
done.
when they're ready to run
One
again.
thing about him, he's a hard worker, good church going man. You know what I'm saying? So,
Wayne Bully Peterson, he was on the show. He gave some good
But that- but I'll tell you
he
this.
does. I
Hasn't
don't
he
like
run
his
several
position.
times?
No, this is Bully's second time running.
his second time,
Oh,
right?
second.
But I'm gonna tell you
But I
first.
think he's running other areas.
Yes.
I don't like his position on certain things in the community. He was one of them that was supporting that thing in Frederick said. He was one of them. He was one of them that supporting the Constitution with Ronnie Russell.
He's a
He
bit
was one of them that
timid.
said, yeah, I don't
You know.
really, a lot of his views I don't agree
Okay,
with.
but I've worked with
ideas.
Bully before. Actually, I'm gonna say that I was Bully's campaign manager when he first ran. So I'm gonna tell you, my greatest thing with Bully is that Bully has to be senatorial, and he has to have done the things necessary over the last 2 years to consider, so I can consider him. I think Bully has not done the thing over the last 2 years to get himself in. He knew from the time the last time, he was going to be back here again. And I did not think he made those necessary things. Also, number two, he has not developed his base. For somebody who lives in the housing communities and has worked intimately with the housing community associations at all levels, and I think sits at the one the region the one for the island of St. Croix. That's one of his base. He has not developed the base. I should, just like how Chucky, you consider housing communities Chucky base, I should be able to say they identify with Bully, because Bully is one of them, but he's not working to develop that base. So that's why I cannot consider
And
Bully.
that might work against him.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, Taima Edwards. As you know, I did not sit on that show because that is my cousin. He is my cousin's husband and my cousin who happens to also be my law partner. So I didn't sit on that show, but there's no mistaking that I support Percival Taima Edwards. Because I personally believe that one, not only does he have the best interest of people at heart, but he is also one of those people that are extremely researched. And before he opens his mouth, he can tell you every single thing about why his position is the way it is and go back to whatever historical book you could find. And so, in that regard, I am going to support him for sure.
And I like him for two reasons. One, he's a man of the people. He has the people's best interest at heart. And two, he has vision.
Yeah.
He definitely has vision based on his research. He could see where things were and where they need to go. I mean, for the betterment, St. Croix in particular, I know you like the Virgin Islands thing, but he has vision for St. Croix. No matter how much you scream Virgin Islands, the disparities between St. Thomas and St. Croix are very evident.
He is, I see him as a grassroots personality. But what I like about him, he's well researched.
Very
I've
well
dealt with
researched.
him, and ever since I've known him, he has always been able to enlighten others and really know what he's talking about. And what I like is the potential that he has with the whole agriculture to be able to push
right,
that,
definitely.
and ecotourism, the cultural part of it, because I mean he's taken me to parts of St. Croix that I never knew existed. And
Yeah.
the history of it, he can belt
That's
it out
it.
like
He knows
Like
the
back of his
history.
hand.
right?
yes,
Yeah.
and that's really impressive. And I think if we get somebody in there with those types of ideas and mix it up with the others, you're gonna have what you call the nice
good
mix
mix,
that
yeah.
you're looking for.
I love it. I love
Let me
it.
say
So you
this.
might not have it all. You might
Yeah.
not have all of the, but at least you have those basic and those essential qualities. You would mix with other people who, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
I-
what's necessary. He has a love for the Virgin Islands.
I too know Taima Edwards, and I'm going to tell you. Do I think his heart is in the right place? I do. Do I think he knows a lot? Yes, he does. But do I think he's ready for the legislature? I at times I don't think so. I think the things that he comes out very good. And there are times that I think he doesn't go far enough with his ideas. Because one of the things that Mr. Edwards have at his potential, most of the most Virgin Islanders, he has Bethlehem at his.
Oh, yeah.
So some of the things that he talks about, he could have already been doing at Estate Bethlehem. Yes, I see Bethlehem going up right now, but he don't have to talk about what is to come. It could have already been what is here.
I'm hearing you saying like, okay, he doesn't have to be a senator to achieve what he wants to achieve for Bethlehem.
No, and he can achieve that as the president of the Cinque Farmers in Action, and I think that's his calling right now. And I think this one of the things that he needs to focus on over the next 2 years is building Estate Bethlehem, refining his platform, and get ready to run again. Maybe 2014 may not be the best time because people say don't run in a gubernatorial year. But can he be a senator? Yes. But I think he needs to have that success of Bethlehem flourishing and doing the things that he says Bethlehem should be doing.
Cannot have Bethlehem flourishing the manner in which you're talking about because he didn't have proper funding. How many times?
Yeah, it's always a fund.
No.
It was
How many times?
Hold on. It's not about funding.
How many times have the farmers gone before the legislature asking for funding and for money? And they never
Agriculture
received
Mr.
it?
Edwards had
It has never been a
250.
priority or ever been
No,
supported. And
Mr.
I've
Edwards
heard-
had $250,000 sitting there on the books for grant money over the years. I know his potential. I'm going to tell you, I've worked with the Cinque Farmers in Action. And it's not about the money. It's about getting the job done. Can he get the job done? Yes. The only thing about it is that Mr. Edwards needs to focus. And the focus needs to be right now and building up Estate Bethlehem, growing Cinque Farmers in Action, and showing the people, yes, this is what I can do. And then in 2 to 4 years, bring that back to us and say, yes, I'm ready to be your senator.
Well, let's not run out of
Well, I
time,
accept your
guys.
position on that.
How many more people do we have?
We have just a few.
Just a few.
Irving Jermaine Julian. So he didn't come to the show.
No, he didn't come to the show.
He didn't come to the show. but
And
what are
he
your thoughts
made
on
the
him?
headlines too.
Well,
He
stop
made the
it.
headlines.
He made the headline.
Well, he made the headlines on
On
Facebook
Facebook.
in the Cinque think
Right.
tank.
I read about
Notoriously.
it.
What, tell me, what did he
They
do?
posted all his allegations or...
Okay, so he have allegations. So he have skeleton in the closet. So he done tainted.
Yeah, very much so.
We need no more tainted people in our legislature. Let's move on.
Okay.
Judy Fricks Buckley, Miss Crime Stopper herself.
See the
She
man
did pretty well. She did pretty well last time around.
Well, you
She
know
ran
what?
out.
Yeah, I don't-
She seemed okay, but when I asked about education, she told me
Right.
she didn't have a plan.
Exactly.
And that kind of was like, okay, well, I need people with a plan. I don't need you to tell me you don't have, because her response was, I don't have a plan for that right now.
Right now, correct. So when
And
you don't
I
go,
was like, no, because you ran before.
Natalie like that.
And so
I'm gonna tell
I think that was
you.
hall number 5. No,
Thank you. That was our number 5, but I'm gonna tell you about Judy. Judy only came on the blip about two years ago, in 2010 when she was running.
Stoppers.
Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers has not made a dent in my life.
Crime gone up since.
Crime is going up. I will.
But it's
Judy,
not because of Crime
Judy is a
Stoppers,
nice
right?
person,
It's not.
but I cannot vote Judy.
No, sir. Neither.
I cannot vote Judy. And people may say it's because of the color of skin. No way, Jose. It's just, I don't buy what Judy is selling.
No, she seems nice, but for me, when I asked the question specifically about education, those other things, and she said that she didn't have a plan, I was like, no, that this is your first time running,
Yeah, it's
so you
not.
should have had some kind of plan.
Plan.
And if you've been in this community, and I personally believe that education is completely intertwined with our crime issues, that you should have had a plan for
You do
both.
realize you could be in the community and not of the community.
Oh, I
Yeah,
understand.
and
And I believe that's a
Thank
big
you.
part of
What
our
I
issue.
like about her though is that she has the demeanor and the attitude and the willingness to work with others that to me her voice will be heard.
Yeah,
Okay.
to get in the
I
Senate.
think
I'm gonna say
her
this.
voice will be heard.
Judy can do that.
To get-
Judy can do that as crime, being part of Crime Stoppers. She can work with Stop the Bleeding campaign. She can do all of those
That's
other
the
stuff.
next. That's the next.
But she cannot do it as a senator. It's a possibility that she may be.
Stop the Bleeding, still
But
going.
I'm just telling you, I can't buy what Judy's selling
I
right
can
now.
see a good mix between her and Nelly. You know, because you know the woman that
Me, I don't know about that.
I could see a
Again, what are you drinking?
Thank you. She's drinking the blue Kool-Aid.
Natalie, you
Naomi
need to
Sandra
convince me-
Joseph?
Wait.
Person-
Let me think. I need you to convince me why I should support this woman, Miss Fricks.
Miss
You-
Fricks?
Just give me one solid reason why I should consider her as a senator.
Her ideas are creative. She has integrity. She has leadership skills.
She has integrity?
She I would say that she
I don't know. I don't know.
I would say that she does, from the lady that I know, you know. But basically, I think that she would be a good mix with whoever gets in there.
Okay.
And that's what you want, people who can work with
We
anybody.
run out of time, so let's go.
Naomi.
Naomi son of Joseph.
Naomi. I like Naomi.
It's personal with me and Naomi. We'll vote for
okay.
Naomi.
I like Naomi too. She
I
makes
like
me laugh.
Naomi.
She makes me smile. I like
Naomi,
Naomi. But
Naomi, her heart is in the right place.
Yeah.
She's been a union,
And she's run before.
outspoken representative
Many times.
for many, many years, and she really has the best interest of
I'm gonna leave that one to the
platform.
people.
When
Unfortunately.
people utilize their position to really trample on people and discredit people, I cannot support them. And I will not support Naomi Joseph.
So now, as we're running out of time,
Already?
the last two incumbents, Ronnie Russell, Chucky Hansen.
Well, why did we save those two for last? and we
Because
did
they're
it one
easy.
time?
Because they're easy.
I know.
I am voting for neither. They're easy to
Let me put it
discuss.
to you.
All right, guys, let me be the mediator here.
I won't be voting for 32, and I won't vote.
Okay.
The other odd number.
I wouldn't
Here.
vote for Ronnie Russell because of obvious reasons. And Chucky, had it not been for the issue regarding what she's going through now, I would have supported
Hey.
that 100%.
Or whether
No,
she's eligible or
I
not.
cannot support
If she is
Chucky.
eligible,
Whether or
I
not
will
she's
support her.
I
because
cannot
like her as a
support.
senator.
No,
I see.
I like.
Do you think, listen to what he just said, do you think that's going to play in the minds of people
No.
whether or not
No.
her eligibility?
They don't play the-
Nobody cares that she ain't eligible. They only care that she going pass in to give me what I want. I'm gonna be okay.
Thank
That's
you.
how they're concerned about.
What am I mean?
It doesn't
Serrano?
matter.
Chucky don't
Sure,
liberate.
Winchester.
Yes, I don't buy
Chucky's
that.
They don't
Chucky's not
care.
about building up. Chucky's about keeping you here so she can get benefit. It's like a feudal system. She's like a feudal lord. I can't deal with Chucky. And if-
Feudalism, the days of feudalism is long
but
gone.
that's what the system that Chucky's peddling. I
I
cannot
think
deal
that she
with.
has created a system. I think she has created a system of people who. I'm not gonna get backlash.
You want to say handouts?
No, I'm not.
Peonage.
I'm not saying
Peonage.
handout. I'm not saying handout. I'm
Okay.
saying that she has created a group of people who believe they are entitled. Entitled without having to do anything.
Well, that's a handout.
And that's not a handout because some people deserve to get the benefits that the government provide.
Correct. If you're
And
a veteran,
you really
yes.
something happened to you, but even if you follow hard times, that's why the programs are there.
Yeah.
They're there for you.
Follow the
But we
poverty
have
level.
a segment of our community that believes that I'm entitled to it just because I was born.
Thank you.
And that's a problem
Amen.
to me.
So I can't.
But I agree with you. My main reason for not voting for her is because I do not in my heart of hearts believe she's eligible to be in the Senate. So,
It's a little bit more than that. I just can't
You
vote
know.
Chucky.
No, I'm sure there's
Listen,
more,
guys,
but that's
at
my
the end
main
of the
reason.
day,
Chucky and Rana.
Chucky
no
as
way.
well as Ronnie Russell have their base, and they have
but I don't know. I
developed
think
don't
Ronnie,
think
Ronnie,
Ronnie-
Ronnie,
I don't
no,
think Ronnie
Chucky,
have-
I think have more of a base
Yeah.
than Ronnie
Ronnie
Russell.
Russell.
Ronnie
Ronnie doesn't.
I
I
really
think, let me
saying
say
that
this,
Ronnie
let me
Russell
say
don't
this,
have a fractal
guys,
to hold on
all the
on.
time. But let me say
I know
this in
that.
Ronnie Russell's defense, though, because I think that he took a lot of heat by virtue of just being the president of the 29th legislature.
Never.
No, he took
That
a lot of
was-
heat because of the position and issue.
Never.
6905.
As a president, everything.
The 8%
falls in
cut.
your
I can't agree with that.
lap.
I can't agree with
No,
that.
the 8% cut. 6905. Increasing the grocery receipt
And
taxes.
being the head of a then having a majority leader that's not even in your party. But anyway, I think we're going to cut time.
You want to-
I don't know about that. But, you know, that's
We
our
have
wrap
time
up.
already.
Out of time. That's our wrap up for these individuals. You know, it is your right. Please go out, but whatever you do, exercise your right to vote. That's what's important. Because if you do not vote, I do not want to hear any of you complaining about anything going on in this community. We will see you again when we wrap up this next week.
That's right.
Because elections will be over, and we'll be talking about that. Remember, make sure your voices are heard. Your voice can make a difference. Good night, everybody.
Night.